Our Kind of Traitor. So, Our Kind of Traitor is the story of Stellan Skarsgård, who's in this Russian mafia, and he basically hires Ewan McGregor and his hot wife, Naomi Harris, to go take this flash drive back to the United Kingdom, specifically London, and he gets in a little bit of trouble because Ewan McGregor doesn't ask us on the flash drive, but the authorities check him out and decide, well, there's a bit of an issue here. And so the authorities decide, you know what, let's help out Stellan Skarsgård's character a little bit, because all he basically wants to do is protect his family. That's the basic synopsis of this story, without getting too much into detail of why everything's happening and how it ends. So, first, let's start off. I definitely like Stellan Skarsgård and Ewan McGregor in this movie. They both carry the main roles pretty well, in fact, incredibly well. Stellan Skarsgård is Swedish from what I understand, and he plays this Russian mafia boss or person from Russia so well, and it's really believable. He seems like a very friendly, likable guy. They play tennis a lot. He carries a good Russian accent, and he's a pretty decent person. Ewan McGregor's character, he's also a pretty decent person. He plays a teacher or a professor or something like that in the movie, and he comes off as likable enough, but at the same time, kind of stupid. I mean, let's face the facts. I mean, if some guy who says he's in the Russian mafia gives you a flash drive and you don't ask what's on it at all, don't you think maybe that might be an indication that something's not quite right, or maybe you should look into that? I mean, the guy is in the criminal underworld. Come on now. There's obviously a string attached to all of this. And you really didn't know the guy that well either when he first gave it to you, but you're doing this anyway. Doesn't take away from his likability as a person in this movie, or Naomi Harris, or any of the other cast in this movie. But they all do their jobs fine, and I can't get on them for that. The plot itself is kind of simplistic. It gets a little complex at one point, but not too complex to the point where you can't figure out what's going on or why. So it's basically pretty simple. Get so-and-so's family and protect them and make sure everything's okay. Do this and everything should be good for everybody. While at the same time, they're asking Stellan Skarsgård, like, I need some numbers for this specific thing in this organization so we can take them down. Can you do that? And he says, well, I'll do that when you do this. Okay. Now, before anyone goes into this movie, just be known, just let it know, this is a political thriller movie. There's not a lot of action in it at all, or a lot of, like, extremely fast-paced moments. It's going to be slow at some points, which did annoy me a little bit, but not so much, because I was more into the story and how it plays out rather than anything else. So, just a heads up. There's not a lot of action, not a lot of fast-paced moments, so when they do happen, they're pretty good, and they do have their own full attention and everything. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward and it's calm and steady, and you're just wondering, well, what happens next? There are several moments when the tension really builds up and it shows, and it leads to a pretty satisfying conclusion towards the end of the film. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty good and sometimes flat at some points. I did like the overall feel of the film, the way they get from one plot point to the next, the overall mystery of how things are going to be solved, and the slight character buildup that goes on and on. There was one moment that there was some nudity in there. There was some pretty gratuitous nudity. I remember sitting in the theater and telling myself, oh God, get that away. No. Please, take that somewhere else. That really didn't need to be in here. But it happens pretty quickly, and it's not on screen for very long, so yeah. I didn't like it, but it passed, so I won't rack up points against that for the movie. Overall, the movie was very entertaining. It was a good thriller. It wasn't extremely long. It was about an hour and a half. But it was pretty entertaining. It was good. Everyone did a fine job. And for that, I will say this movie gets a silver ribbon rating. Okay, so Our Kind of Traitor. Have you seen it? What do you think? Whatever you think, leave me a comment below and tell me how you feel. Also, don't forget to check out my Twitter at AsteroidMike. Don't forget to check out my blog. If you like what you see here, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link below. On the next page, there'll always be another review. And as always, I will see you around. So this is me saying so long, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.